Hello everyone, welcome back to Flourishfield, and in today's video we're going to be learning typecasting. Now what is typecasting? Simply means converting one data type to another data type. So I want to show you how to convert from one data type to another data type, and I will show you how to implement typecasting in Python programming. All right, please follow along with me, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment in the comment section below. All right, let's get started. Before we start, I would like us to open our Python IDE. The same process, click on the Windows icon right there, and then you select your Python IDE. And after you've done that, the Python shell would appear. So you need to create a new file to start a new project. And then you save your work like this. Remember to save your work in the folder you created as FF tutorials. All right, that's it right there. And then we are going to call it what? Casting.py. And you save your work. That's it right there, casting.py. All right, so remember what I want to say, that you can actually check on the top right corner. You see a link above. That is the prerequisite to this video. This video is about typecasting, and you won't be able to understand typecasting if you don't understand data type. So I would advise that you first watch that video before you continue with this, okay? All right, so don't forget that we have different data type, but I'll be focusing on just 4 of them, okay, or even 3 of them in this video. Now the first one that we'll be focusing on is what? Integer. So can we declare an integer? Let's say number. Oops, sorry about that. So number, and then let's give it an integer. Let's say 98. And then I'll declare another one, say score, average. Sorry, let me use average, and I'll give that what? 92.9, and I'll declare string. And let me call string what's name, and I want to call the name. No, I'm not using name. Let me use a string, a different string. Let me call it age, and I'll be declaring a string, but it has a number. Let's call it what? 15. Now I've declared an integer, a float, and a string. Now, how does typecasting work in Python? Now, to cast an integer, let's say for example, I want to convert this integer to string. All I'm going to do is to use this function called what? str. Close brackets. All right, so let's open brackets. Now, can you see? String objects is converting whatever object you put inside to what? A string. That is what it means. Whatever you put in between these brackets will be converted to a string. And now we want to convert number. Now number has been converted to a string like this. Right. Let's say for example I want to convert that same number. No, I want to convert average now to string. I'll do the same thing. I'll say what's str, open and close brackets, and I'll say what? Average. The same thing for the last one. The last one is a string already. So there's no need for us to convert it to a string because it is a string already. All right, now let's print out our variables now. Print, and then let's print out our values. Say number. Let's print out the type. Yeah, the variable type. Remember this function type. That is going to check the data type for number. Now let's check print again. Type. And then this is going to check what? The data type for average. Oops, sorry. Data type for average. And then let's print out again type. That means what? We want to know the data type of the value in the brackets, say age. Now, let me explain this. This type right here, type number, is going to get out the name, the data type of numbers, and then it's going to print out that data type. The same thing to this also and this. Now let's run our code now and see. Now when you run your code, everything should be a string. It's returning back integer, float, and string. And the reason is because we didn't assign this to a variable. So it just converted in and then just, so let's assign it to a variable. Let's call that variable x. Let's use that for now, and y. And now let's put in our x right here and our y right there. Sorry about that, I missed that. So you're supposed, whenever you cast a value, you're supposed to assign it to a variable to catch that type. So now let's run it again now and see. Now when you run it again now, can you see everything has been converted to a string? So that is how to cast a data type. That is how to convert a data type to another data type. Now let's try for float. Now this is converting to string. Use the str function. Okay, don't forget that. Use the str function. But what about we want to convert it to integer? Now let's declare another variable, say a, and then I want to convert average to integer. So let's say average int average. Can you see that? The same thing to b. Let's convert this string right there, this age right there, to an integer. This is what int. Sorry about that. Just come right there and say what int. When you open the bracket, it's going to tell you, see, it's going to convert anything that you put inside the bracket to what? An integer. So that's already telling us. So let's convert that also, and then let's print out the value. I'm breaking this down for you so that you understand, okay? So let's check the type, all right? Let's check the data type for A and the data type for B. And just copy and paste. Let's check the data type for B. All right. Now let's save our work now. And now let's run it. Can you see now? It says string, 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 integer, integer. So we have successfully what? Converted this and this back to integer. All right, now let's think about the values. Let's print out the values and see what we are going to see right there. So now let's save our work now and then check the value. So can you see now? This is 92 and this is 15. Now because it is converting to an integer, it didn't even convert it. It just picks up the value and then printed it out like that. So that's for converting to an integer. What about float? The same process for float. Now let's convert all of this number to float. It's easy. You're going to use what? Let's say another variable. And I'm going to use what? Float. Open and close brackets. And when you open and close brackets, float, and then say what? Float, open and close brackets. Now put in the value inside that. So we have number. Okay. So let's do the same for the rest. Number, and let's call this variable D, and then let's call this one letter E, and then we're going to change average, and then we're changing what? Age. Now don't forget that floating point numbers are decimal numbers. Okay, so all these numbers are going to be converted to decimal numbers. All right, now let's check the output. All right, let's check the output of these numbers. So let's say C, and then I'm going to print out D and E. And, D and E. So now when you save your work and you run it now, it's going to give us, can you see, it's converted them to a float. 98.0, 92.0, 15.0. So now that is how to cast a data type in Python. method. I hope you still remember the function. The first function is what? The first function to convert is what? str, open and close bracket, to convert to string. The second function is what? int, to convert to integer. And the third one is what? Float, to convert to float. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use typecasting in calculating an arithmetic operation. But this time around, I would introduce another function called input. Then we'll enjoy what we'll see in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like my video, and tell your friends about this lovely channel. I'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed.